There is an ancient Chinese saying, history serves as a mirror, revealing the rise and fall of nations. 5,000 years ago, the land we now call China was divided into numerous small states. While nominally submitting to the leadership of the Zhou king as the supreme ruler, these states gradually slipped from royal control as the Zhou dynasty's power waned while feudal lords grew stronger. For centuries, these small states warred against each other for population and territory, until finally unifying into a single nation China. This often makes me wonder, is our modern world not mirroring that ancient Chinese landscape? Today, our planet contains over 100 nations, with humanity still frequently fighting over land, energy resources, and minerals. Will Earth eventually unify into a single global nation 1,000 years from now? I cannot say. But China's 5,000 years of recorded history contain countless fascinating, unbelievable, and thought-provoking stories. Let me select some from the vast historical records to share with you. If you're interested in China and its historical culture, you're welcome to follow me. Now, let's begin today's story. After the covenant at Qi, Duke Huan of Qi's prestige grew even higher, and his status as hegemon of the Central Plains was recognized by more feudal states. Only Song remained somewhat dissatisfied. Duke Huan thought, I confirmed Duke Yuyu's position as ruler of Song at the Bixing Assembly. Not only did he show no gratitude, he left without even saying goodbye. He ignored subsequent invitations to covenant meetings. How can I tolerate such contempt for the alliance leader? He immediately ordered, while sending messengers to report to the Zhou king. He would join forces with troops from Chen and Cao to punish Song. Ningqi came forward to advise, My lord, you are launching this expedition under the Zhou king's mandate. Rather than making states fear our military might, it's better to make them submit willingly through moral influence. Duke Huan asked, What do you suggest? Ningqi replied, Instead of attacking immediately, let me try reasoning with them first. If they agree to a covenant, that would be best. If they stubbornly refuse, we can still attack later. Duke Huan said, Very well, courtesy before force. He ordered preparations while sending Ningqi to Song. When Song learned about the coalition forces under the Zhou king's banner, they urgently convened ministers. Some advocated resistance, others reconciliation. During heated debate, messengers reported, Duke Huan has sent envoy Ningqi. The Song ruler asked his aides, Who is Ningqi? Why haven't I heard of him before? Minister Dai Shupi replied, He was recommended by Guanzhong and recently appointed as a senior official. The Song ruler asked, How should we receive him? After reflection, Dai Shupi said, He's known for eloquence, likely here to persuade you. Don't receive him with full diplomatic honors initially, observe his behavior if he acts inappropriately. Watch for my signal, I'll subtly tug your robe and you order his execution. After preparations, Ningqi was brought to the hall. Wearing wide-sleeved robes, he ascended calmly despite the intimidating atmosphere. Merely cupping his hands without bowing, the seated Song ruler didn't return the gesture. Ningqi sighed dramatically, How perilous! Song faces imminent disaster. Startled but feigning composure, the ruler said, What danger? As a dukedom, we fear nothing. Noting his arrogance, Ningqi said, Your rank is high indeed. But with the Zhou king's authority declining, states now compete through governance, not just titles. Good governance requires valuing talent. Even Duke Zhou during peaceful times with universal support would interrupt meals and hair washing to receive scholars. Yet you, in this chaotic era of rivalry, act arrogantly while neglecting governance. Who would assist such a ruler? Continued thus, disaster is inevitable. Dai Shupi repeatedly tugged the ruler's robe, but he ignored it. Finally, the ruler rose to apologize and invited Ningqi to the honored seat for advice. After analyzing the situation, Ningqi persuaded him to covenant with Duke Huan. Following this advice, the Song ruler brought jade gifts to sign the treaty. Duke Huan forwarded these to the Zhou king, reiterating his expedition was under imperial orders. People praised, Duke Huan acts selflessly and justly. Thus 8 major central states except Zheng allied with Qi, Lu, Chen, Kai, Wei, Cao, Zhu, and Song. Zheng hesitated between northern Qi and southern Chu, both equally powerful and distant. Allying with Qi risked Chu's attack. Aligning with Chu provoked Qi. With limited strength, Zheng wavered for years, its people suffering immensely. Later, Qi covenanted with Zhu, making Duke Huan hegemon over 10 states. His responsibilities expanded beyond governing Qi to alliance leadership. The Zheng-Chu resistance troubled him deeply. After days of contemplation, he summoned Guanzhong. Zheng infuriates me, a central state aligning with southern barbarians instead of us. I want to punish them, your thoughts? After reflection, Guanzhong said, Zheng has difficulties, weak and forced to rely on stronger states. Chu's intimidation explains their hesitation. Duke Huan exclaimed, Chu is worse. Not only rejecting our alliance but opposing it coercively. As they debated, messengers reported Yan's envoy had arrived. Yan's capital Ji bordered aggressive Shanrong tribesmen, skilled riders and archers who raided rather than farmed. They repeatedly plundered northern Yan, taking grain, goods, and youths. Yan's armies couldn't counter their mobility. This time, the wrong leader invaded deeply, defeating Yan's forces. In desperation, Yan sought help from the central hegemon. Duke Huan, originally planning to attack Chu, now faced Yan's emergency after discussing with Guanzhong overnight. He declared, assisting against invaders is a hegemon's duty. Tell your ruler Qi's army follows immediately. In 663 BC, Duke Huan personally led troops to aid Yan. Reaching the Qi Lu border at Jishui, Duke Zhong of Lu hosted them with feasts and supplies before they proceeded. Seeing Qi's grand army, the Shenrong retreated after plundering Yan's grain, livestock, and thousands of civilians. Grateful for their rescue, Duke Zhong of Yan personally welcomed them with gifts, while commoners knelt roadside. Moved by the scene, Duke Huan understood their unspoken fear: the wrong would return after Qi's departure. But keeping armies stationed long-term was impossible. Guanzhong said, we must thoroughly defeat the wrong troops to teach them a lesson and make them understand Qi's military prowess. Duke Huan agreed. Well said, since our expedition isn't easy, let's pursue them relentlessly. When Duke Zhong of Yan learned of Duke Huan's decision to continue the campaign, he was overjoyed. Your pursuit of the enemy truly benefits Yan's people. I'm willing to lead Yan's troops as the vanguard. Seeing Duke Zhuang's sincerity and the suffering of Yan's people under wrong raids, Duke Huan declined. Yan has just fought the wrong and endured great hardship. Your people have suffered enough, just assist with logistics and reinforcements instead. Impressed by Duke Huan's consideration, a true hegemon's magnanimity, Duke Zhong suggested, about 30 miles east lies the state of Wuzong, another Shanrong branch who disapprove of plundering and maintain good relations with Yan. They know this terrain well, shall we invite them as guides? Duke Huan immediately prepared gifts and sent Xi Peng to extend the invitation. The ruler of Wuzong, upon receiving the joint request from Yan and Qi, dispatched General Huerban with 2,000 cavalry. Duke Huan arranged Huerban as vanguard, Duke Zhong of Yan as rear guard, and personally led Qi's central army. The three forces advanced toward Shanrong territory. After marching about 200 miles through winding paths and steep mountains, Duke Huan and Guanzhong halted to survey the terrain. They ordered most supplies stationed there with half the troops guarding them while ensuring light cavalry maintained logistics. Selecting the strongest soldiers for light gear, they continued the advance. Learning of Qi's invasion, Shanrong chieftain Mi Lu convened his generals. General Su Mai advised, the Qian army traveled far through unfamiliar terrain, they must be exhausted. If we strike before they settle, we'll surely win. Delighted, Mi Lu gave him 3,000 cavalry for opportunistic action. Su Mai dispersed his forces in valley ambushes while leading merely 100 cavalry to feign engagement. When Huerban's vanguard entered the valley, Su Mai's small force provoked them. Relying on courage, Huerban swung his long-handled iron mace at Su Mai's head, who countered with a broadsword. After a dozen clashes, Su Mai feigned defeat, luring Huerban into dense woods. During the eager pursuit, a whistle echoed through the valleys as ambushers erupted from all sides. Huerban's forces were split and surrounded. Though brave, he couldn't withstand the surprise attack. His horse's front legs were cut, throwing him down. As he rose weaponless, Qi's main army arrived just in time. Prince Chengfu valiantly dispersed the ambush and rescued Huerban. Having lost over half his men, Huerban shamefully reported to Duke Huan, who comforted him. Victory and defeat are common in warfare, gifting him a fine horse. After a brief rest, the army advanced northeast 30 miles to Mount Fulong Crouching Dragon. Duke Huan ordered camps fortified with chariot walls. Next day, Mi Lu led 10,000 cavalry to challenge them. Guanzhong ordered strict defense without engagement. Despite repeated charges, the wrong couldn't breach the fortifications. From breakfast until afternoon, the assaults continued futilely. Exhausted wrong soldiers dismounted to rest, some sleeping on the ground. Guanzhong gently patted Huerban's shoulder. The time has come. Understanding the cue, Huerban led his troops through the gate to attack. Xi Peng whispered to Guanzhong, aren't they luring us into ambush? Guanzhong replied, I anticipated that we'll turn their plot against them. He immediately ordered Prince Chengfu to attack the enemy's left flank and Binzu the right, instructing them to ignore the decoys and assault the ambushers once revealed. The Shanrong relied on terrain knowledge and ambush tactics, hoping to annihilate Qi's forces in traps. But they underestimated their opponent's cunning. As Huerban pursued Mi Lu's troops, who feigned retreat after brief clashes, Guanzhong sounded retreat just as Huerban prepared to chase. The moment he turned back, wrong ambushers emerged on whistle signals, while Mi Lu directed the pincer attack. Prince Chengfu and Binzu encircled the ambushers themselves. Caught off guard, the wrong fell into chaos without fighting. Qi's generals seized the moment to slaughter them, scattering the survivors. Having his ambush foiled and troops decimated, Mi Lu fled knowing he couldn't withstand the allied forces. Many captured wrong soldiers received Duke Huan's mercy orders prohibited killing surrendering troops or harming locals. Grateful for this leniency, wrong soldiers and civilians voluntarily reported Mi Lu's tyranny. When Duke Huan asked Mi Lu's whereabouts, they revealed, he has nowhere else, certainly fled to Guzhou. Duke Huan ordered pursuit toward Guzhou. After his defeat, Mi Lu sought refuge with his ally, the Guzhou ruler Dalaihe, requesting reinforcements. Dalaihe readily agreed, sending General Huang Hua with Mi Lu to resist Qi. With few troops left and Guzhou's army disobeying his commands, Mi Lu faced disunited forces with unclear objectives. They stood no chance against Qi's assault. The very first engagement shattered them, costing most equipment and troops. Huang Hua and Mi Lu fled back to the city in panic. That midnight, Huang Hua told ruler Dalehi, Qi's strength is overwhelming, direct confrontation is hopeless. Continuing this war will only bring greater losses. Dali asked, what do you suggest we do? Huang Hua replied, Qi's expedition originally aimed to punish Shanrong's Mi Lu for harassing Yan, which prompted Yan's ruler to seek help from the Central Plains hegemon. This conflict never concerned Guju. Qi's troops came here only because Mi Lu fled to us. If we kill Mi Lu and present his head to Duke Huan of Qi, he'll surely agree to peace talks. After reflection, Dali said, this seems improper. Mi Lu came to us after defeat. Killing him would invite ridicule. Prime Minister Wu interjected, I have a plan to annihilate Qi's army completely. Dali urgently asked, what brilliant strategy do you propose? Wu explained, north of our state lies an endless desert, the perfect graveyard for Qi's troops. This northern desert, locally called Dry Sea, was a waterless vegetation-free wilderness of unknown size. Under summer noon sun, sand could roast eggs and meat. Nighttime cold required double-layered fur coats. Sandstorms could bury flatlands under dunes, while yellow dust blotted out the sun, making face-to-face recognition impossible. Biting night winds chilled to the bone, destabilizing men and horses. Even locals rarely ventured beyond the outskirts. Deeper penetration meant certain disorientation amid shifting sand dunes, hence its nickname Maze Valley. Anyone entering it never returned, understanding Wu's intent but unsure how to lure Qi's army there. Dali asked, how do we lead them into Maze Valley? Wu said, simple, we need someone to feign surrender. If Qi believes it, our plan succeeds. Dali asked his court, who will volunteer for this mission? Marshal Huang Hua stood up, I'll go. Dali gave him 5,000 troops with detailed instructions, promising top honors for successful completion. Huang Hua reasoned, to convince Duke Huan of my surrender, killing Mi Lu should be excusable. He went to Mi Lu's camp, where Mi Lu welcomed him warmly. Huang Hua said, Guju fought Qi entirely for your sake. Mi Lu responded gratefully, we've burdened you, many thanks. Huang Hua continued, no need for courtesy. To repel Qi, we must collaborate. For my operation, I need to borrow something from you. Mi Lu said, name it, I'll spare nothing. Good, said Huang Hua, I need your head. Stunned, Mi Lu had no time to react before soldiers beheaded him. Huang Hua placed the head in a wooden box and headed to Qi's camp. Duke Huan was discussing how to conquer Guju when messengers reported. Guju's Marshal Huang Hua has surrendered with his troops. Uncertain of its authenticity, Duke Huan summoned Huang Hua for questioning, presenting the head. Huang Hua said, our ruler Dali ignored advisors and public will, aiding his drinking buddy Mi Lu against the central hegemon. Realizing he can't resist your forces, he's now fleeing with coerced citizens, vowing to borrow troops for further resistance. I refuse to follow him, not from cowardice, but to spare people further war suffering. I secretly killed Mi Lu to surrender, willing to permanently submit to your leadership. If accepted, I'll guide you to pursue Dali. Duke Huan listened uninterrupted, observing Huang Hua's expressions without detecting deceit. Those who recognized Mi Lu confirmed the head's authenticity. Convinced, Duke Huan ordered generals Gao Hai and Huang Hua as vanguards to enter Guju's capital. Finding it truly empty, Duke Huan grew more confident in Huang Hua's story, deciding to pursue immediately. Duke Huan had Duke Zhong of Yan garrison the city while General Gao Hai's vanguard followed Huang Hua's guidance. He led the central army with Guanzhong and Xi Peng, chasing Dali overnight. After a day's pursuit with no sign of Dali, dusk fell on a desolate sandscape devoid of life. Exhausted men and horses faced endless yellow sand under a gloomy sky, disoriented without landmarks. As the sun vanished in dusty haze, piercing winds made even horses hunch. Growing gales knocked down some troops. Surviving overnight here seemed impossible. Duke Huan asked attendants, where are we? None knew, Guanzhong said, no one has been here. But ancient texts mention a dry sea desert spanning thousands of miles north. We've likely reached it, we must stop. Duke Huan urgently ordered halt, sending messengers to fetch Huang Hua for explanation. Multiple search parties found no trace. Realizing the trap, Duke Huan ordered retreat, but which direction? The entire army was lost. Darkness deepened with increasing cold and wind. Soldiers couldn't sleep safely, huddling risked burial under sandstorms. After an agonizing night, dawn brought milder winds but no clearer directions. Sand trails had vanished overnight, horses lacked grass and water. Men suffered unbearable thirst, unable to swallow dry rations. Duke Huan sighed, alas. Must we perish here? Guanzhong returned from consulting veterans. Don't despair, panic won't help. Old folks say dogs remember 3,000 li, cats 800, perhaps horses recall paths. Many horses from Wuzong and Lingzi bordering Guju came from north of the desert. Let's test older ones. With no alternatives, Duke Huan agreed reluctantly. Guanzhong had Hewer Ban select aged mounts from his troops and captured Lingzi horses, removing bridles and reins to free them. Thirsty and hungry, they desperately headed back the way they came. Qi's army followed closely. This was an old horse knows the way. Meanwhile, Huang Hua guiding General Gao Hai moved rapidly ahead until losing sight of the main force. While Gao Hai wanted to wait, Huang Hua urged speed. After another stretch, Gao Hai halted for Duke Huan. Huang Hua suggested, "Let the troops slow down, we'll ride ahead to that sand ridge to scout for Dalahi's rearguard." As they rounded a dune, Huang Hua unexpectedly lassoed Gao Hai off his horse, binding him tightly before taking him to Dalahi's base. Reporting, "Duke Huan is trapped in Maze Valley, his entire army will perish. I've captured Qi's General Gao Hai for your disposal." As you can see, historical China was made up of countless small states that fought endless wars against each other, gradually emerging into the China we know today. Over these thousands of years of integration, countless fascinating stories unfolded. I am a Chinese high school student, and in my free time, I create this video to share the stories that find most intriguing, thought-provoking and fun stories that will help you understand China better. If you're interested in China, have any questions about the country, or need travel tips for an upcoming trip, feel free to leave a comment under my video. I'll do my best to reply as soon as possible and provide whatever help I can. Thanks for following and liking.